The apartment didn't change. I did. I used to think the apartment was changing, that something inside it was shifting, moving when I wasn't looking. Now I'm not so sure. Because when things finally stopped happening, I didn't feel better. I started checking everything, not in a dramatic way, not like someone who expects to find something, more like someone who needs to confirm that nothing is there. The door, the windows, the lights, the rooms, everything stayed where it was. That should have been comforting. It wasn't. I began to notice how quiet the apartment really was. Not peaceful, not calm, empty. Even when the city was loud outside, even when cars passed and people talked and doors closed in other apartments, mine always sounded the same, like it was waiting. I stopped leaving things as tests. No more cups in the sink. No more doors checked twice just to see what would happen. I wanted my routine back, so I followed it. Exactly. Wake up, coffee, work, come back. Same time, same order, same movements. If nothing changes, nothing can be wrong. That was the idea. But something else started to happen. Not in the apartment, in me. I started forgetting small things, not important things, just details. Whether I had already made coffee, whether I had already checked the door, whether I had already turned off the light in the hallway. The routine was still there. I just couldn't always remember doing it. At first, I laughed about it. People forget things. That's normal. Almost normal. But then I started finding myself in rooms without remembering why I went there, standing in the kitchen, looking at the sink, trying to remember if I was about to wash something, or if I already had. One evening, I stood in the kitchen and looked at the table. The chair was in the right place, exactly where it should be, and I felt disappointed. That was new. Not relief, not comfort, disappointment. I realized I had started expecting something. Not a person, not a sound, not a sign of a break-in. Just proof that I wasn't imagining all of it. The apartment stayed quiet. Days passed. Nothing happened. And the more normal everything looked, the more distant it felt. Like a place I used to live in, not the place I was in. I started sitting in the dark more often, not because I forgot to turn on the lights, because I didn't see the point. The rooms looked the same either way. So did I. One night, I stood in front of the mirror for a long time, long enough to notice how still I was, how quiet, how familiar and unfamiliar my own face felt. I tried to remember when I started paying so much attention, not to the apartment, to myself. I couldn't. I began writing things down, small things. Turned off the light, locked the door, made coffee. Just in case. At first it helped. I checked the notes. The notes matched the apartment. Everything made sense. Then, one morning, I found a note I didn't remember writing. It wasn't important, just one line. Don't forget. I stood there holding it, trying to remember what I wasn't supposed to forget. The apartment looked normal. The door was locked. The lights were off. The chair was where it should be. Nothing had moved. Nothing had changed. And for a moment, I couldn't remember why I was checking. That scared me more than any unlocked door ever did, because it meant the apartment wasn't the problem. It meant I was. I still follow my routine. I still lock the door. I still check the rooms. I still notice the details. But now, I don't know if I'm trying to protect myself or prove that I'm still here. The apartment feels normal. It always has. Almost normal. And lately, I'm not sure if I do.